Hey guys, it's Brennan. Just wanted to go over my new single called Night City, off my upcoming EP called CPU Says No, from my new kind of side project called Arrows. It's a little bit of like a synthwave 80s kind of thing, so I always wanted to do an EP like this. My good friend Jordan kind of got me into synthwave, but started with like Dance with the Dead and Time Cop 1983, so I've been listening to a lot of them lately, and kind of influenced me to kind of do something like this. So anyway, so this song is called Night City. I chose this one to be the first single, which is kind of different to put as a first single just because it is a little bit slower. There's not a whole lot going on in the song, but I felt it'd be a good single just because it kind of defines what the whole album is as a whole. And also, I mean, it's one of my favorite songs off of the album as well. So yeah, so let's just get right into this. So this is actually the only song on the EP that's not using my Roland boutique synths. I have a Roland JX03 and then the SE02, which was also made with in cooperation with Studio Electronics. And amazing synths. It's just this song was kind of made late at night, and I was just too lazy, honestly, just too lazy to hook them up and do some routing and stuff. So I actually did the whole entire EP with the Tal Uno LX or UNO LX, which is pretty much based off of the Juno, and it actually sounds pretty much almost exactly like the real thing. I never had the pleasure to actually play a real Juno. But just after hearing it and watching so many videos of it, it comes really, really close. And it's a fairly cheap synth too as well. It's only, I believe, $60, I believe. So I picked it up, and honestly, it's one of the best things that I ever used. And then I also use an instance, I believe Mai Tai. Yep, I use Mai Tai, which is Studio One's stock synth. I really like it. I know a lot of people don't. I pretty much use this on everything. Nowadays, it's kind of more of the Tal Uno. But the Mai Tai is definitely awesome. And then typically, you can put it in this 80s mode, which would kind of, I'm not sure exactly what it does. Obviously, it saves CPU, but it kind of gives you that 80s kind of aspect as well. But in this case, I actually didn't do it on this song. So let's just start off with the main synth that pretty much goes on through the entire song. And the chord progression actually doesn't change at all. It's really just the melodies that kind of change. So we can go ahead and listen to this real quick, and I can pull up all the effects that I have on it. And I actually do have a delay on it. So this is actually what it sounds like with the delay that I'm putting on it. So yeah, so it's a pretty simple chord progression, nothing too fancy. I honestly forget what key it's in. I believe it was in probably C sharp minor or F major. I don't really exactly remember. But it's a pretty simple chord progression, not a whole lot going on in it. But this delay right here actually makes it sound like what it sounds like. So let me just go ahead and take off this delay, and this is what it actually would sound like. It's cool, but it's kind of boring. You know, it's missing a little extra spice. So I have it doing 16th note delays, and I actually modulated the LFO a little bit, so it kind of sounds like it's getting out of tune every once in a while, and that's something that I wanted to do, just to kind of add a little bit of character to it. So this is actually what it sounds like without any of the modulation. And like I said, I mean, it's really subtle, but to me, it really kind of fixes the whole thing, I guess you can say. So this is what it sounds like without that modulation, but with the delay as a whole. Pretty good delay, and that actually really fills it up. And then with that slight modulation, it's doing this. So yes, I mean, a slight detuning, but I really like the sound of that. I knew after I selected that, I'm like, that's the one. And then I don't remember exactly which preset I was using. I believe this actually is a TimeCop 1983 preset pack that I got, and I'm just using the Poly 1 on it. And I'll leave a link in the description just to kind of so you guys can check it out for yourselves as well. But these are all the settings that I have onto it. I think really the only thing I changed was the release and the cutoff. I think that's really all I did for it. Yeah, so that's the main synth that's actually going on throughout the song. And then I also have this other pad kind of just going on below it. I believe this is also from the TimeCop pack as well. Pretty much doing the exact same chord progression, nothing too fancy. And then this melody comes in. This is actually another instance of Mai Tai, and I'm just using this dumbbell preset. I believe I changed the cutoff a little bit and probably some of the oscillators. But again, nothing too much. And then I did switch it actually to this 80s quality as well, just to kind of give it more of that 80s quality. So this is what this is actually doing. Pretty simple lead, nothing too fancy going on. And then with the rest of the song, this is what it sounds like. I love that lead. It's really simple, good way to start the song. And then finally, this main lead that pretty much goes on through the rest of the song comes in. Let's see. So this one is a kind of a brassy lead. And again, yeah, this one is from the that TimeCop pack as well. Really good pack. I would highly recommend it if you're trying to do stuff like this. So this is what this one is doing. And then with the second lead kind of going on behind it, it sounds a little like this. And it's cool because it's really simple. I mean, there's really only 7 notes that it's playing in this section. But it supports that lead really well. And I've always kind of liked doing stuff like that. Have a really simple, dead simple lead right behind it, just adding a little bit of support and character to it. And then it looks like it starts doing a little bit of some octaves right in this part right here. And then it kind of goes into that little break right there. And then for the bass, this is actually another Mai Tai right here. Again, all stock PreSonus stuff. I'm using the 80s up down, and I kept it at the normal quality just because it has a little bit of extra high end, and I really wanted that bass to have a little bit of extra high end just right out of the box. And then I'm also using this. It's cool because Studio One has these arpeggiators that you can use. If you just go over to the instruments and go to note effects, I mean, there's the arpeggiator, recorder, input filter, and repeaters. I really like the arpeggiator. It's really cool, and you can just set it. So really, all the bass is doing is just holding down these notes, and then the arpeggiator would divide it into 16th notes, like how I have it set up right here. So this is what the bass would sound like. Really simple bass line, doesn't change the entire song. And then for the drums as well, I forget exactly what samples I'm using. They're from a synthwave retro pack that I got off Splice, except for the hi-hat. The hi-hat is just another random hi-hat that I found, but I liked the way it sounded. So these are what they sound like. So then just by themselves, they sound like this. And again, really simple beat. Super simple beat, but it just really flows with the song. Honestly, this song sounds like a song that night driving, you just play the song at night, drive along with it, and just have a good time. So, and that's something that I wanted to kind of go with this album, is that I just want to be able to, like, just a late night at work, you get off, play this song while you're driving home, and it just, it gets you that nice and movie feel. I mean, that's something that I wanted to do. I mean, this album honestly could be a soundtrack as well to any really 80s movie, and that's something that I really wanted to go for. Especially the song called Drive that features my good friend NVR, Nelson Barker. You should check him out. And I kind of gave him the concept, and he was all about that. So it's like a song that you can just drive to at night, So then, so the song kind of dives off a little bit, gets a little slower, and then gradually builds up to this climatic part, and then just fades off at the end. So here is kind of just that chill part. Again, same exact chord progression as the rest of the song, and then we kind of get these. Now we kind of get the two leads kind of coming back. And then now for the bass to come back in. Pretty simple stuff, but I love that build up, because you just know that something's gonna happen, and I'm all about that. And then finally, the song kind of slows down for a second. Awesome stuff right there. I love how it just all of a sudden it's big, like the song gradually gets bigger, tones down for a little bit, and then just ends huge, and I love that. And then at the very end, this other arpeggiator comes in, and almost like I'm actually using the arpeggiator that's within the Uno, and just doing a 1/8. I'm actually having it go up pretty high. It has a 3-octave range, so it does get up there. So this is what the arpeggiator sounds like. I love that. It sounds amazing. So I love that. And then also these are just some basic risers. But then it kind of gets a little bit big with its distorted pad. I'll show it in a second. And this pad right here, it's another Mai Tai. This pad is pretty much all over the EP. Even this pad even does some leads every once in a while. But normally, I don't remember where I got this preset, but it had a little bit of distortion, so then I even just cranked the distortion even more. So the distortion is literally just cranked the whole way, and I just love the way it sounds. It sounds stupid kind of on its own. Like, this is probably what it sounds like now. It sounds cool. I even use it for some leads, There's a lead and Drive that this is from. But this pad, again, is pretty much in almost every single song. But this is what it sounds like just by itself. And it sounds messy, but a good kind of messy, But, I mean, that just makes the rest of the song huge. All right, right here. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the song. After that, it kind of just starts to fade off a little bit. And that's really just about it. And how I made the song. And again, I made this song really late at night. I think it was like 3 in the morning when I started writing this song. And I really just wanted to go for a straight up, just simple sounding song, nothing too fancy. So, but yeah, I mean, that's it. I'm really glad you guys enjoyed the song. I really enjoyed it. Just give it about 2 more weeks. The rest of the EP will be out, and I'm super excited for you guys to hear it. I really enjoy it. It's definitely totally different than what I typically do, you know, because I come from like a metal, hard rock kind of background. And then just kind of over the course of the years, I ended up not being so narrow-minded anymore. So I'm really happy with how this came out. I had a lot of fun making this EP, and I really hope you guys enjoy it. So yeah, so I guess we'll see you guys next time. Thanks again.